It's interesting. We talked a little bit about American Vandal a couple weeks ago, how we really enjoyed the second season. And it was announced this past week, I believe it was like Thursday or maybe Wednesday, that American Vandal was not being picked up by Netflix, is actually canceled. And the main reason for this seems to be that Netflix is moving towards more in-house productions, and American Vandal is not that. What do you think about the move, and do you see a future for American Vandal on TV, or do you think it's done?
Yeah, I think like I like season two, but I didn't like it as much as the first season. I thought it just was inherently less funny of a story this time around. Um,
Mhm.
but I still thought it was well done and still had cool ideas. Um, but would that play on like cable? I'm not sure. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's enough meat on the bone episode for it to be a successful week to week show. Probably there is. The creators endeavor for that, but I mean, would any other streaming service be psyched to pick it up? Like, I mean, Amazon Prime is probably the only real option, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't see it fitting on HBO.
Yeah, I think like this doesn't happen that often where streaming services pick up a show that was already canceled. It's happened once in a while. Netflix has grabbed some stuff, but yeah, I mean, the weird thing, I think it's just solely about Netflix's ability to control the property.
Mhm.
Like you said, I mean, creators will be shopping it because they control the show. It's not Netflix's show; they're just distributing it, right? So
Mhm.
they would prefer to just control everything, right? Just affects the bottom line better. But it's on the other hand, it's like is American Vandal that expensive to make? You know, or
Yeah, I
and like,
can't imagine it.
but it's like it's just stuff that like we don't really have any like insight on understanding. Is because first of all, they don't publicize their ratings at all. We just kind of have like
Mhm.
big score guesses, right? And then also we don't understand how like the quote real estate works in Netflix. It's like, yeah, sure, you can put as much shit on you want as there, but they still want to curate it. So, a show like
Mhm.
this is really successful for them. If they still want to cancel it because they don't fully control it, that really says a lot about how they're operating. It's tough to make a declarative statement from it, but I'd like to see it continue for sure. But disappointing development, no doubt.
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing, and I think it could be picked up by somewhere like Hulu as well, somewhere that just kind of wants to have it as like a property. Is I think Hulu is kind of trying to figure out how they're going to build themselves out moving forward. It's not a bad thing for them to say, "We'll throw a little bit of money here and have it on our platform." Kind of same for Amazon Prime, just having it in their library. I think in the long run is their goal. But yeah, it's definitely disappointing. And Netflix, I think, especially with Disney streaming on the horizon. And probably a lot more other streaming platforms to follow after that. It makes sense that they're moving more towards this is our property because they know eventually they're all going to become very specialized and individual. So um, it's something to keep track of, and something we'll definitely be talking about more. Any last thoughts before we move on to some music?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of following in the wake of consecutive weeks Iron Fist and Luke Cage were canceled. Also
Mm-hmm.
shows that they were Netflix shows, but they were not fully controlled by Netflix. They are still produced by Marvel Television. So it's kind of the same idea. American Vandal, though, was just a less obvious candidate for this. Like everyone knows
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's those shows, but yeah, American Vandal. I mean, this is and again, it's kind of like how Brooklyn Nine was canceled by Fox. Same shit. Um, Now NBC was willing to, pick it up and take it over. But American Vandal, if it went to Amazon, will Amazon want to acquire a new show that they still won't be owning? Like you said, they'd have to be willing to just pay up just to have it in the coffers for the time being. So
Mm-hmm.
as we continue to spread everything around, as you know, everyone's making their own service. This is kind of stuff that's going to happen where frankly, shows just aren't going to be made like this anymore. They're going to be made by where you're living. So
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's actually a really interesting point, and kind of brings me to something Andy Greenwald mentioned on The Watch. Was he thinks Michael Schur is a name to watch for Netflix to kind of go all in on, and I think that's going to be really the next move is how these creators and these showrunners are just going to be given these huge contracts to say content for our streaming service for our brand moving forward.
they're already
And
doing.
Yeah, so it's going to be it's almost like, do you invest in like the streaming service that has the most people that you like that have created things in the past? Like it's going to be an interesting portion to the debate moving forward, and really interesting. I mean, there's a lot there. We'll get into it a little bit more in depth some other